Excellent, excellent. Broadcasting into the hallway. You should come and check this out. Gotta say no more. Alright. Does it sound good? All good. Is that good? I think so. Is it everybody test talk? Talk. Talk. Can you hear us all three sort of equally-ish?
We need three kings.
We three kings.
Yes.
I'm the face. That was another thing. What? I see a few familiar faces. There you are. I'm going to do this for a while I distract you from more activities. It's the same again. Yeah. This will be streamed on the interwebs. Tell your friends, your families. It may be streamed on the internet.
I'm on the internet.
Test.
Modify me.
Modify.me.
It's an easy website to remember. We're not picking up the USB.
Oh, there we go. We got it. This is how we talk. This is how we communicate.
Huh? Oh, if they want to. I'm going to try not to curse or anything. Maybe.
Blank.
Swag. Why do I have this? I didn't even know this was in my pocket. Oh, yeah. Yes, uncensored. Because it's built up in 10 seconds flat.
Are we? Wait.
Don't know.
Alright, my text message is, right, you later.
I'm going to continue to distract from technical difficulties for the remaining seconds. School.
Not next week.
We are currently in our IRC chat.
Yes. Yeah.
Telling our hear us. You spelled here H-E-A-H-E-R-E. No one is answering you.
No idea if they can hear us.
Well, Chuck test it. That's all that matters. All that matters is Chuck test it.
Well, I think it's working because
Okay, well, just watch the chat and...
Oh, it is working.
It is working.
It's got to be working.
It is. It must be working. Okay.
It's got to be working somehow.
Well, without further ado... Are we good on the camera? Okay, excellent. All right, without further ado, welcome to whatever I called this panel. Something about casting, I think, and Celestia Radio.
Something about bronze or something about casting.
Something about that. Some bronies, there was casting in there, and Celestia Radio. That's all I remember. So speaking of, everybody who is in this room and is alive, put your hands up real quick and keep them held up. Okay, yes? Excellent, excellent. I like these numbers. Well, chat can go die. Work on that. So keep your hands up if you were at any form of a party last night. Woo! Yeah? Alright. Okay, so almost about half of the room. Okay. Continue to keep your hands up if you were at my party last night.
Yeah!
Holy hell, that is a lot of people actually that are still. Thank you for waking up in time. Thank you for continuing to roll through your buzz this morning. Because I will let everyone know we were up until about 6 a.m. this morning. And I was at that point still drinking. So I had to wake up at 9:30 to get out of the room because we had to close it down. But we're good. Yes, I'm awake. So,
Yes.
What?
Love this.
Yes. Is it full?
Yeah.
Oh, hell. Sweet Jesus. Yes. Oh, you have no idea that Brony just unleashed.
Renee.
What flavor is it? Oh, berry. Oh.
Chug! It's only a shot, you don't chug it.
Okay. Much sipping and chugging was done last night. In no particular order. So, again, thank you to those folks who actually came to my thing last night. There were a lot of difficulties with it. Everybody knows that lots of things happen. And we ended up having a good time. And the noise level was good. We had 0 complaints. Excellent. I am super happy about that. Con staff, literally like everyone involved with security and con staff was like, how did you do that? Like, how was there no noise level? Like people were standing outside the room. Are there people in that room in there? Like you can't hear anything. So that was excellent.
Yeah.
Especially with about 40 to 50 people, I think we counted in a suite upstairs. So it was glorious. Probably broke some fire regulations, but it was all good. If you brought anything to the actual party, this is just sort of like a PSA announcement. It is in con ops. So if it was anything obvious that was like this belongs to a person, including any of the wares that was there, someone left a Rainbow Dash drinking glass. Shame on whoever that was. If it is yours, it is in con ops. So just as an FYI. We had a great time. I had a great time. Thanks for everyone for showing up and for showing up here as well. And thank you to those of you, even if you did not drink, for showing up here, because that is magnificent. I love all of you people. Not sure if I actually, yes, give yourself a round. Let's do the hand raising thing again, real quick. Everybody raise your hands real quickly. Yes, some of you are still inebriated. By the rapid fire rate of that hand raising. Keep your hands up if you already know who I am. A few people with their hands. Okay, so good. Go ahead and put your hands down. That's fine. Okay, so I will go ahead and introduce myself, since some people still do not know. I am DJ Shamrock of Celestia Radio. These are two of my magnificent DJs as well.
I am QCOM, aka DJ Squirrel.
I'm DJ Brony. My real name is Kyle.
And he's from Colorado.
I'm from Colorado. I'm all over the mountains.
So you can make as many South Park references as you would like.
I'm Jewish.
It's not Jewish, so that won't work. But I guess first of all, I can sort of semi-introduce a little bit more about myself. I'm DJ Shamrock, but my real name is Andrew Vintage. I'm from Southeast Kansas. We drove a little ways to get here. This guy flew. We also have two wonderful slave / sort of people that are with me. We've got Perry right here. He's one of our listeners. I also work with him on sort of a satellite radio station that will start eventually. At some point, he came all the way from Georgia. Yeah. And then my good friend who will totally outdo that distance right over here, Cider, would you stand up, please?
Stand up,
this man is Australian. And then he went the furthest. So I think he's beaten everyone that's like, I came all the way from Houston, Texas. It's like, Australia. All right.
Crikey.
Yeah, all right. Southeast Kansas, back on track where I was talking at some point. So, I'm an actual radio broadcaster in Southeast Kansas. If anyone knows where Joplin, Missouri is, all the way north to almost Kansas City, that is my broadcast range. So it's about 60 miles in both directions from Fort Scott on Highway 69, if you know where that is, Katie. It's a small little quaint town of 8,000. I know that's not small in some numbers, but compared to here, it's very small. Little local radio station, 1600 AM, Camdio and K1B FM 103.9. To do that little plug there. My friend KB also works at I work at a commercial radio station, so I actually get paid. You work at a sort of donation-based radio station.
I live in a town of about 1,200 people at 9,000 feet elevation in the Rocky Mountains. And I'm the youngest DJ in history with 25 years at my local station, KBUT. We're not a commercial station. We pledge drive twice a year. It's awful. We beg for money, just on our hands and knees. That's how I got the ins and outs of broadcasting, learned how to do it, the best ways to do it, and that's where I got my skill set, and I got in contact with Shamrock a couple months ago, probably about 4 now, and now I'm a DJ, and now I'm here, so couldn't be anywhere better.
Of course, I did speaking and stuff throughout my educational curricular, whatever you want to call it, and everything from singing, vocally, voice act type stuff. It doesn't matter if it's low because I talk loud. Everything from the voice acting stuff, debate forensics, speech, that kind of stuff. Always loved public speaking. Always loved doing sort of public relations type stuff. I actually fell into radio on a fluke. I was doing a linguistics program at the Ohio State University, and ended up and ended up coming back down to where I'm from in Southeast Kansas, and I was like, I need a job somewhere to, you know, sort of like bide my time while I'm going to school. And so my local congressperson who I knew was like, hey, there's a job open at the radio station. You should try that. And I was like, sure. This was like 3 years ago or something. And so, and then I became in radio, if that's not even a sentence. So much for being a linguist. I can grammar has do things.
Yes, very yes. It's been a long night.
It's not even that. This is me normally. I make up words all the time.
Unadulterated Shamrock.
This is close. We're not quite. This is still technically not an 18 and up panel, so I can't go all the way. But I'll slip them in there every once in a while. Okay. Sorry. All right. So yeah. So I kind of fell into broadcasting, but I've always done voice type stuff, and I've always loved doing it. Whether it's narration type stuff, singing, doing bass stuff, you know, doing beatboxing stuff. I love doing that too. Just anything to keep a crowd going, like those are my jams. I love doing that stuff. I love entertaining people. I love keeping people distracted while other people still do stuff. Don't turn around. I love doing all sorts of cool things like that. But in the end, everything that I do is always to please the audience. So that's what I got in. Yeah, that's what I got into it for. And trying to question my grammar still. And that's why I got into it, and that's what I love to do. So we'll talk about a little bit of broadcasting stuff after QCOM sort of tells his whatever story.
First of all, Silver Eagle, where are you? You're in this audience.
Yeah, they just raised their fin back there.
Fin.
They're fin wing. Whatever.
Okay, yes. I'm QCOM. I got onto this, I think, like August, I think, of last year.
Yes.
Yes. And I started, and Sham was the first person I started to hear, and I was like, this is interesting. Their ads kind of suck. I want to make some more. So I ended up making like, what, 50 or 60 of them?
Oh, I don't even know, but it was a lot.
It was like just a crap ton of advertising stuff that I made, and they were all just silly little skits that I made up. And then, sort of on my own, I sort of like to interview like all the controversial people in the fandom, like all the like. Let's see.
When we say controversial, we mean let's just go ahead and stop like rambling off people. Mega Sweet, Sergeant Sprinkles, aka Cupcakes.
Yeah.
Hot Diggity Demon, the God Move series. Who else? We didn't get JJ.
Yeah, we didn't get JJ.
Haiku.
Yeah. Just all sorts of people that really, you know, just aren't really shown a lot. And then just after around that time, around like January, they like, well, okay, we'll make you DJ because all the work you do. I'm like, yay. So that's basically my story. It's short and sweet. I have no experience in radio broadcasting except this, which is really interesting to me. I'm trying to use it for sort of a stepping stone for my marketing degree for a business. So
Yeah.
yay.
Experience. Yeah, all right. So that's us individually. I'll talk. I'm getting some feedback or something. I'll talk a little bit about the sort of CR history really quickly for those interested, and then this I should have sort of done the here's what we're going to talk about today thing first, but I didn't think of that. So we'll talk a little bit about CR history, and then I'll get into the actual like panel stuff. The communicate. Yeah, what's up, security guy, man? I love you. All right. Just made that audio system rage quit. history. We'll talk about the actual panel stuff, like in general communications, some media type stuff, and more specifically how broadcasting, narrowcasting sort of applies to bronies and things like that. And then at the end we'll have sort of a Q&A thing for those interested in asking the questions and stuff. So, CR, Celestia Radio. Those that are familiar with it and those that aren't. I know a lot of people are not familiar with us, and now they want to be familiar with us. It has been a website that started, it was the first actual Brony radio station. Some people may be familiar with different ones that have been sort of in the past as well, like Every Free Radio, of course, is a popular one. There was Every Pony Radio?
Yeah, this is Built Beer Radio.
Okay, yeah. Every Pony Radio was like one of our sort of competitors, like right initially when we started, after we started. But we started back in May of last year, so 2011 in May. And it was 3 guys that got together, a guy named Hooflander from, I think, Sweden.
We think he's dead.
We think he's dead. Him, a former owner called Karai, who's from Canada, and then PH Pony, my current website administrator, who lives in Minnesota. Minnesota. And so those 3 kind of got together on, of all places, of course, unfortunately. And they were like, hey, there's some cool music. We should like make some kind of a radio station thing. And so they were like, yeah, let's do it. So those 3 got together, none of which are here, obviously. And Hooflander essentially became like the owner, the original creator. Karai did a lot of PR type stuff for them, publicity stuff, and then PH Pony ran the website basically. After that, if anyone's familiar with a man named Prison, yeah, some people, all right, okay, who lives in Ohio, in Mason, I think. You can stop on there. He's on Facebook. He did some initial like sweepers and voice stuff. He's done some music and some other things. He has a deep, sexy, chocolatey voice, and he does some stuff with some media groups now, I think. But which is why he's busy. He doesn't ever DJ anymore. But he did some initial sweepers for us, and just little stuff like please donate to CR that would play like once every 50 songs or something. And I joined the fandom in that May, and came across the website in like June, I think, from somebody mentioning it on a YouTube video of all places. And I was like, whoa, there's a Pony radio station. Like that's kind of weird but cool. I'm in radio. Let's check it out. And at the time, they were a 24/7 auto DJ service, basically. And it was just music that would play on automatic, and there would be 24/7. I was like, this is cool, but we could make this a lot cooler. I was like, 20% at least more cool.
20%.
Yes. And I was like, we could make this much better. I was like, I sent a message to Karai. I was like, hey, I'm legitimately in radio. I do all this kind of stuff all the time. I was like, we should have live DJs. I was like, and what? I will eventually. He hasn't joined at this point in the story yet. Jeez. Okay, so it's chronological. Why would I tell a background story and be like, and then 3 years before that? No. Yes. So I was like, we can make this much better. There's no excuse. There should be live DJs. Like, it should happen. Let's make it the best, like actual physical, as close to a real radio station as possible, and that was my goal. And Karai was like, sure, Hooflander, give him the passwords to the stream. And I was like, all right. So I downloaded all their music, which at the time was, I don't even know how much music they had, 10 gigs or something. And not even close to what we have now. I have at least 50 to 60 gigs of Pony music. And we had very close relations with a lot of the musical community because PH Pony also does web design or web dev for My Little Remix, if anyone's familiar with them. And they host like every Pony musician known to mankind and Bronykind. And he did web design for them, so we had really good relations already, good friends with Pinkie Pie Swear, Not a Clever Pony, what was the other, McCon, Jack Lab, and like Alex S, and Eurobeat, and some of the others. And so we were already really good friends with them, and we were like, hey, we play music and stuff like, yeah. So that's how it started. And we sort of changed the face of live radio broadcasting in the pony community for the better, I think, from that. And you know, through the whole process, eventually other people joined the team. Past members, we've had Mel Insomniac was a DJ for a time. We also had a guy named Pony Toast for a while, who's no longer staff. We also had a number of other people that there's no way I'm going to be able to go through the whole list, but a lot of cool people. You can check us out. I think we have a Wikia page or something, Celestia Radio. You can just look that up. So yeah, so now we have myself, who actually owns and runs the station. I was passed down through lineage, and eventually everybody who was above me left, and so now here I am. And so now I run it. So I was the first DJ, and now I own the place. So it's a lot of fun. Running radio, doing media, doing communications is excellent stuff. The cool thing about communications is that everybody can always use more of it, and it will improve every aspect of your life to know a little bit of communications, a little bit of how to talk to people, interact with people, because that, you know, one way or another, that's one of the major things that's going to get you somewhere, regardless of whatever you want to do, be it, you know, networking with people or whatever. So in communications, are we able to stream still, or is that not a thing?
Yeah, what's the stream?
Okay. Okay. If I close my laptop, it would turn off. I'm not technical. I just talk. That's all I do. All I do is talk. And so, with communications, there's, you know, multiple different ways of using communications to your advantage. You've got, of course, broadcasting, which is, you know, most radio, television, that kind of stuff is all broadcasting. It's very vanilla. If you're like, I hate hearing the same 5 songs on the radio all the time, that's because we have to get to the largest demographic, and, you know, things like that. I'm talking about real radio, not us particular, but you got to try and reach the largest audience you can. What we do, however, is more known as narrowcasting, which, as explained sort of in my description, narrowcasting is when you target a specific group of people. Bronies. Yes. There's a market for that. There's a market for bronies.
And not just a small market either, it's a pretty big one.
It's a pretty big one.
I've gotten call-ins from people from Russia, from Netherlands, from England. It's a pretty big market.
Yeah, it's literally enormous. I'm always amazed when sometimes, you know, we run completely on donations. You know, sometimes I have to pay out of pocket to get the stuff to run, but somehow magically we always manage to have people that are willing to donate like right at the right times when we need it. And there are, I tell you what, there are some generous Russians out there who just out of nowhere, I'll be like looking through my email. Wow, I got a $300 donation from some name that I can't even read. Awesome.
What is that, Kurt?
Awesome. And you know, I love that stuff. I love that about bronies. The coolest thing is that, especially in the communications and the media field with bronies, the reason that media has exploded with bronies is that you have so many different talented people of all shapes and varieties that can do just about anything if you put enough of them in a room together. You know, they cover every aspect. A lot of other fandoms, you know, you have artists, you have writers, that's it. Or you have people that, you know, and then you have crafts people, you know, stuff normal vendors you'll see at places and different conventions. And, but here we have that, you know, plus we have the people who do animation. We have people who voice act. We have people who make video games, for goodness sakes. I don't see many fandoms that actually have people, like, I know of at least like 10 Brony video games that are being made right now, and it's just like, what, like they're all good. Like none of them suck really. So, you know, for all like cool things, you're like, oh man, this is really awesome. You know, like dedicated Steam websites for for Pony Fortress or whatever. You know, it's all stuff that's really cool, and you're like, I wouldn't see this in any other fandom. You know, it's just people that are like, hey, I can do X and I like Y, so let's make Z happen. So that, you know, it's literally the ingredient to the formula of why bronies are so freaking amazing. And that's how you end up with a radio station of a fandom that there's like no ponies don't have like radio in the series, unless you read something like vinyl scratch tapes or something. But that doesn't exist in the show. So like, you know, normally you would say, well, why would there be a pony radio station? And yet people make music, and we have at least I have over 300 musical artists on my hard drive with like 50 to 60 gigabytes of music. and that is freaking incredible, because that literally in like a little over like a year and a half maybe of when the music even started, and you've already got over 300 people, and you've got 60 gigabytes worth of music in a year and a half. That's incredible, right there. And it's not even that, like, a lot of times you would say, oh, 300 artists and 60 gigabytes of music, I bet it's all crap. No, it's all pretty much amazing. Yeah, it's you know, it's just, it blows my mind a lot of the time to see how much freaking music there is. But one of the things that, you know, I sort of wanted to talk a little bit about was, you know, how people can get sort of integrated with the media to learn a little bit more about us, because we do stuff like we go to press events and things like that. We go to Brony conventions, obviously, and we love to go into stream when we can. We're getting into video streaming as well, like for BronyCon. We were at BronyCon this year, and just, you know, spreading the word, because that's what it's all about. Because you got to have people, when you have a fandom like this and it's quickly spreading, you got to have people in the media and in the press that are going to fight on your side to be able to say, hey, look, here's like the cool stuff that's going on, because you end up diverting a lot of the issues like you see with certain fandoms, like furry fandom, stuff that has happened. I'm a furry, so it's okay, I can say that. And I got one clap, yes. And you know, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you get people who do not know anything about communications, and you get people from the press like Fox News and like Howard Stern and like Jerry Springer who walk up to them and say, tell me about this. And they hand the mic to the most awkward person known on the face of the everything. And they're like, oh yes, I will tell you all about my Pokemans. And you're like, and I see it all the time, people just like slap their face and like, oh, why is this person the one talking? Because no one else is doing it. That's a lot of the problem as well. You got, you know, in fandoms like these, people sort of like shy. They come to the cons and they're like, yes, active. And then they leave the con and they're like, okay, now I'm going to go back to doing my own thing, and like, I'm not going to mention this ever again. And sometimes that's good, but especially if you were drinking last night. But a lot of the times, you know, people who are like the most pure in nature for stuff like the Brony fandom or furry fandom, they're, you know, too afraid about what other people might think. You know, they're too afraid about that kind of stuff, and so they don't speak up. And the people who are not afraid, who are often sometimes the most awkward people as well, are the ones who end up with the mic, and they're the ones that end up talking and telling stuff. And so you end up with these crazy stories from places like Fox News or Howard Stern, or CSI has a little episode as well about some things. I'm talking about furries still. Everyone goes, what? I've never heard of this. And so you end up with just this cluster of like, no, this is not what it's about at all. This is not even a thing.
If there was an episode about Brony from CSI, it'd probably be over the foil rarity card.
People stabbing other people. I want that card.
Someone dressed as an orange horse with wings running around stabbing people.
Something about bronies. They cause death.
Dash stab. Dash stab.
And so, you know, bad stuff like that happens when you don't have, one, if you don't have good people that'll speak up, and two, if you don't have people that are on your side in the media who want to find the people that are good to speak up. And so that's why it's so cool that we've got so many good media groups. You've got Equestria Daily, you've got Derpy Who's News, you've got, you know, us, Celestia Radio, you've got Everfree Radio, you've got so many other websites that contribute a lot to the media. All the podcasting places like Bronyville, I can think of some other broadcasting things. No, I can't. And so all of these groups that go out and they go to conventions and they do press stuff, and they're like, let's spread the word about this. Let's tell everyone about this. Let's show them why this is so cool. And then you get people involved like John Delancey who show up and they're like, now I want to make a documentary because I just found out about this from some cool, like, broadcast type people, press people that think it's really cool, and now I want to know more about this. And so then you get in the public light and people are like, yes, this is a cool thing, not some like crazy messed up thing, and people are just like, ah, you're all nuts, and people dress up like ponies and they think that's weird. It's like, whatever. we will have our cosplay and eat it too.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's the kind of thing that I've been so, you know, kind of proud of, to be a part of that media alliance that we've had, to really just go out there and get places like CNN and be like, hey, we want you guys to come here and we want to like show you the kind of cool stuff that there is, or other websites. Like I did an interview with, or we did an interview with Huffington Post for BronyCon, and you know, I was also involved with some interviews with some other people for BronyCon. And
We interviewed Peter, the chairman of this very convention.
Peter, the chairman of this convention. We've gotten to do interviews and talk to people like Daniel Ingram, the documentary people, Lauren Malachi and Malachi, sorry, I pronounced that wrong, and Mike Brockhoff, Mike Brockhoff, who we deem Mike Brohoof. He was actually introducing himself as that at BronyCon, I think. So he was like, I'm Brohoof, hi, nice to meet you. And all kinds of people, like, am I forgetting any famous people that we interviewed that I can't think of right now?
I did a little bit with Peter New. That wasn't really an interview, it was just like.
Oh, yeah, not at the con, but just in history. I don't know. Daniel Ingram's probably one of the most popular people we do. I have also loved the fact that Bronies love to donate money to good causes and charities, and I love taking part in that stuff. Yes! Not just for us, but when you get people like those familiar with Tara Strong's little friend Kiki in the donation drive for that, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that. We did a 60-hour DJ-a-thon where we had live DJing for a total of 60 hours over a weekend, and we were able to, in maybe not directly, but in total sort of like awareness donation funds, we raised like $5,000 to $6,000 or something in total. So it was like in 3 days, like it was like, holy crap, like you guys are awesome.
Tara was extremely grateful.
Yeah,
I mean,
by the way.
Yeah, we went up there and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys did this for us. It was awesome.
It was great. Yeah, she was very pleased. She was very happy about it. The family definitely, I've talked to the family a few times and they're extremely grateful. They're just the coolest people, but we love doing stuff like that for donation drives and everything like that. So, you know, of course, if you can think of any charities and things like that and you want to let us know, then you can let me know. I guess I'll get into some more details about Celestia Radio specifically. I don't know what time it is. We'll run over and I don't care. There's no panel directly after this. We got a 30-minute buffer. For those that want to know, and I guess you can come up and ask personally later as well, but the website is ponify.me. It is literally the easiest possible thing to remember for Bronies. Ponify.me. What could be better? And it's all pony all the time. And we literally 24/7. We've got live DJing. We do talk shows. We have a schedule on the website which I'm continuously updating. We do interviews with cool people. Lots of community-based interviews. Writers, artists, musicians, literally anyone and everyone you can possibly think of. And we love doing that kind of stuff. And we go to cons and stream stuff like this too. So it's absolutely fantastic, and I love doing it. So Bonafide.me is the website. We also, you can either listen with the embedded Flash player thing that we have. If you have iTunes or something like that you'd rather use, you can play that way. We also have an Android app. There's an app for that. Yes, there's a pony for that. And if you go to the Android App Store, just look for Celestia Radio. We're on there. My good friend Karai, aka Landon Manning, one of the former owners, is the one who made that, and he appreciates any donations as well, because he's spending some time trying to get that set up. But
What about for Apple?
yeah, what?
What about for Apple? Like, is it gonna be an app for the
Oh,
iPhone?
for iPhone, it is, iOS. It's a little more difficult to make an app for iOS. We're working on it in some degree, but you can still listen using Wi-Fi if you're connected to the internet at all.
Using a shout, if you have a Shoutcast app, you can use that.
Or you can go directly to our website. I believe our what's the link to directly to our stream? It's molestia.ponify.me. I'm not even sure. That's our stream. That's our stream. Is what that's
Prime.
Port 8062.
8062 is the port. So that's if you've got that down, then yes, you'll be able to listen straight into the stream. So we have the capability of hosting 300 people at a time listening in on the stream, and we have fun times trying to max that out whenever we can. But usually doing lots of cool live events and stuff like that. So let's see. Yes. So if you have any questions, we'll do a Q&A here in just a second. But if you have messages or any kind of stuff like that, correspondence you want to do with us, then you can send an email to info@notifyme, and that will get directly to me. So that's something to keep track of. If you ever want to do correspondence, if you want to network somehow, I love working with anyone and everyone. So sometimes it takes me a little bit to get to emails and stuff like that. But if you have a project, if you want to be interviewed, if you want to work on some marketing stuff, some advertising, if you sell anything, I can work with just about anything. So if you do it and you want more people to know about it, you let me know about it, and I will take care of it. So right now, I guess what we'll do, since I'm sort of is we'll do some Q&A, because I want to know what you guys want to know from me and or us. Do you have the wireless mic with you, Barry? Here, press the button. Make it green. Is it green now? We need the wireless.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. All right.
So raise your hands, anybody that has a question, and he will get around to you and start taking questions.
So work it all the way to the back here. So pass this down to the gentleman at the end down there.
Yeah, I was wondering, I know you mentioned earlier that you said that there was no pony radio, and I noticed that. What if in the show they actually did a pony radio thing, but they actually used you guys as the cast for it, and made it called the Celestia radio?
If we were made canon in the show, I don't know what would happen.
Somebody would go on a rampage and kill them.
Yeah.
The universe would basically do this, and then
If Hasbro picked our station to be canon in the show, they picked the wrong one because we're not very rated wide.
You what?
You still get death threats?
Oh
yeah, all the time.
You never finished your story.
You what?
You never finished your story yesterday about when the cops came over or whatever.
Oh, no, that was the end pretty much. Like,
really?
nothing's happened after that. They didn't have the cojones to come and face me. Is the mic?
Just yell. Hello? Okay. Just have to be pretty close. What's the usefulness of the more social-oriented Brony sites like Equestria Daily or Brony Chan to you guys?
How do they benefit us? Yeah. They're a huge help in a lot of ways. One of the things with the media groups and the websites that we sort of network together, and I'm in Skype chats and stuff with all the guys. And what we try and do is, someone will get a piece of information, and then we share that amongst all of us, basically. So we're all networked together pretty closely. And if it's relevant to us, we don't do a lot of stuff in terms of we don't post general news stuff. It's there's a meetup in such and such, or look at this cake or whatever. We don't do that kind of stuff. But if it's anything that's pertinent information that needs to be broadcasted, if there's any types of interviews, events, that sort of thing, they'll let us know. New music, that type of stuff. Yeah, stuff about the show, anything like that. But we'll always try and be on the lookout as well. If we find out something in an interview, we'll give the audio to them. But we work really closely. For instance, this morning, some of the EQD guys were here yesterday and today. DHN was here as well. Bronyville, obviously. And I would just get on my phone and text and be like, "Hey, are you still here? Can I get a post on EQD real quick?" He's like, "Okay, cool. Whatever." So that really helps a lot because then it gets people to listen to us and it gets more attention for the con, which also sort of gets more attention for EQD because then people like you guys that show up to the con that get more attention that way will then sort of go and be like, oh, now I want to check out Celestia Radio, or now I want to check out EQD. And so it's like a continuous circle of things. Is the more you communicate, the more you get news out there and stuff like that. It'll just keep reciprocating and getting more and more and bigger. So that's always the point of media. You want to get larger and larger audiences.
I'm not sure how many of you regularly check the roundup every night. I know sometimes it can get a little dry. But if you do, scroll all the way down to the podcast. About once a week, you will see something from the station. I typically try to host a special event every 1 or 2 weeks. Last week it was the Celestia Radio DJ-a-thon on Labor Day, which was a huge success, and we had that on the roundup. So I know a lot, who doesn't love EQD, looking up that kind of stuff. So look for us in the roundup, because we do have these special events, and they are a lot of fun, and they are great ways to keep the fandom connected. And we don't want to miss out on that.
And real quick too, we're going to actually have all of you participate in a little advertisement that we're going to be having on the radio at the very end, so please stick around.
Yes. And to follow up on sort of what he said as well, you can visit EQD and see our stuff, but you can also, check out our website, because chances are we will post to our website first, and then we'll send stuff to EQD and all the others to post to their website. So if there's something that's going to happen, check our website, notify me on the main page, and something will be there. So.
All right. Yes. Do you hint about ponies on your other radio station?
Wait, sorry, louder?
Do you hint about ponies on your other radio station?
I'll answer that question. I'm a rock DJ. I play techno music and all sorts of awesome pony stuff on Celestia Radio. But for my actual station, it's all rock and roll. And this happens quite regularly too. Mando Pony, playing some Mando Pony songs live on my radio station in this town. And you would not believe how many times I've been called at the station, who was that last artist? And I go, are you familiar with Mando Pony? And they go, what the hell are you talking about? And I go, oh, go to his website. And they're like, you're crazy. I'm done with your station. I'm all like, well, bigot. But there's been plenty of times, too, that they're like, they call me back a few days later, and they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this existed. Holy crap, this is awesome. And, I'm unintentionally making people bronies by broadcasting Mando Pony over live radio.
To follow up on that, the reason that I cannot do that, and the distinction we made earlier, commercial
Public.
Radio, public radio. So he can kind of do more stuff with what he wants, and I can't, because basically we're a top 40s all hit station, which means it has to be on the top 40 billboards in order for me to play it, which means basically all that pop crap that people don't like. And I cannot play anything outside of that, literally. If I were to play even some really popular stuff that didn't make it on the top 40, say it got 41 on the list, I would play it and I would get fired. So I cannot do anything like that. As far as talking and saying stuff on the radio about ponies, again, I live in a very rural area of southeast Kansas, next to Missouri and Oklahoma and Arkansas. So, not exactly the best demographic area to be talking about ponies. I have a feeling I would get a call. I would get a call first at the station, and then my boss would get a call, and then my boss would give me a call. And then there would be problems. So I want to. I would love to, but I can't.
Alright, so it's just my personal favorite song happens to be Sunshine Celery Sticks. So you agree that it's one of the best songs out there?
It is definitely one of the best songs out there.
I'll tell you what, Mickey Pie Swear, aka Matt, is such a cool guy, and we are actually PH Pony and him are really good friends, and he's such a cool guy, and makes great music. He and Alex S as well, they don't get music out there as often, but it's really good. So, next question.
What was that you were saying earlier about the CSI pony stuff?
That wasn't furry. I was speaking of the furry fandom when I mentioned that.
There was an episode of CSI that was about all the furry fandom.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was hilarious. Hey, I thought it was hilarious. There's a lot of people that are butt mad about it, but it's legitimately fun.
So much rage.
Hi. So, besides dealing with what I can only imagine are crazy amounts of flack, so to speak, as a result of your newfound celebrity, how would you say that your time with Celestia Radio has affected you personally, beyond just boosting your resumes?
Incredibly.
Do you think it's changed you all as people overall? Do you think you're coming out of it more social or more extroverted? Or?
I cannot really put into words what this station has done to my life, and I'm talking, good. Good in every possible way. My life is about 20% more hectic, because when I first signed on, I'm all like, I'll do one show a week for 2 hours. Now I'm in 4 shows a week, about 15 hours. So we are live a lot. People underestimate that. Maybe I'll tune in and, once in a blue moon I'll be a DJ on. We're gonna have someone on typically every night. Maybe Sunday might be a little slow, but I'm on Monday morning, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, all pretty late at night. So if you're not working or at work, I don't care if you listen to pony music at your occupation. More power to you.
I listen to pony music at my occupation, and I'm playing other music at the same time.
With the social aspect, I talk about this all the time in my classes. Like, I'm taking a public speaking class to help me with situations just like this. And I've told them, we're for a radio station and everything. It's pretty cool. And I haven't told them what the actual music is yet. I'm going to actually be doing about a 4-minute speech on Bronies, the whole social aspect of it.
What?
Can you walk into your classroom when you're doing it?
I actually did do one show for my school library. That was interesting. Hello, you're listening to Celestia Radio. I'm DJ K Brony. Kyle, computer wing,
For me, I would say, as a full-time job doing radio, I work usually about 5 to 10 or 11 o'clock at night every day during the week, and then on weekends I'm the only one that works. So we literally have 3 DJs at my local station. One of them works 6 to 9 in the morning, one works 9 to 3 during the day, and I work the rest. So you can imagine my total, even if it's programmed, like automated, my total hours are like 130 hours a week or something in terms of like music that I am accountable for. And a lot of it gets repeated. So, working like 40 hours a week or whatever, especially weekends doing it in the mornings. When I started Celestia Radio, I did 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. So I was doing 30 hours of pony music a week and like 40 hours of my job music a week of DJing. That was extremely taxing, and that's why you never hear me on the radio anymore for Celestia Radio, hardly ever. I have gone to almost completely just running everything, getting our contacts, interviews, keeping in contact with the media guys. That's something I do pretty much full time, the PR work and that sort of thing. I'm also working for different cons now. I'm on BronyCon staff. I do media relations with the press, some other conventions as well. So I do a lot of that full time, and you don't get to hear me as much, which is unfortunate nowadays. But I try and do events and stuff. If anything happens that I do, a lot of times Sunday evening is going to be the time that you'll probably hear me. It's made my life extremely hectic. Has led me to, I actually stopped going to school in order to devote full time pretty much to Celestia Radio and to my job. So I'd say it has had a pretty impressive impact on my life, but all for the better, in my opinion. So, question?
How was your interview with Hot Diggity Demon?
Oh my God.
He drove us.
unexplainable.
He was drunk.
It was trolling or drunk?
He was drunk.
Both. Really, literally, it was just me stepping over myself because I had no idea the reaction. Actually, why don't I have our friend Perry talk a little bit more about it, because he's a little bit more, he remembers the details more than I do.
I would rather not. I feel like I'm gonna wind up saying something stupid.
All right.
No, thank you.
Well, I mean, regardless, I have lots of friends who don't like any of Hot Diggity Demon's stuff, the dot move things, for those that don't know.
He's a great animator, but boy,
I love his personality. Yeah, I love his personality. I think he's cool, but yeah, he's a little insane. But I like him so little, so I'm one of them. Hello, welcome to my beard. Next one.
Okay, this is actually based off of a response that I got on I do, I guess, con reporting, because I work a lot of cons with the production company I'm with. But I posted a thing of, you know, day one BronyCon, and, you know, all right, time for round two, blah, blah, blah. And I had a comment on there that said, basically, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, because I'm a little pissed off at my friend that said this at the moment. It is not okay for a grown man to like My Little Ponies. It's just not. What? Oh, I had to control myself not to reply on that. But, so my question is, when y'all have gotten have y'all, well, y'all most likely got comments like that, I'm guessing. But how do you respond to something like that?
Yes.
I'll answer this one because I'm 16 and in high school, and my high school has 150 kids that I've all known since elementary school. And all of a sudden to come in from a summer of being, it's Kyle, and then all of a sudden it's Kyle who loves ponies. You know, it's definitely, it's like, what happened to you over 3 months? But you know, haters are gonna hate, and I basically say, you know, I'm not gonna live with you for the rest of my life. You don't need to talk to me. You don't need to look at me. You don't even need to think about me. Like, why are you thinking about me? That's a little weird. Guy likes ponies. That gets under my skin. I'm like, why are you so obsessed with what I like? We like weird things. They like just equally weird things. It's that, you know, ours is, you know, based towards a demographic of girls, but you know, at the end of the day, we really get some crap because we're breaking, you know, the gender wall. You know, we're breaking down the Berlin Wall of masculinity.
I would follow up on that and say, I had a great interview that I did with a website called Zimbio that contacted me for BronyCon and asked if I would answer some questions and stuff about that. And they put pretty much that same question to me. They said, you know, what do you think about people who don't like this, or that, you know, think that it's not cool for you guys to do this or whatever? And a little bit of my politics show up in this answer, but like, to be completely honest, we're all individuals, we're all people, we all like different things and stuff. And for the most part, if everyone just realizes that people can kind of do what they want to do and live their own lives and be free to do what they want to do as long as they're not like killing other people, like we'd all get along a lot better, I think, you know? So it sort of feeds into that whole like love and tolerance thing a little bit, but even tolerate is a little bit of a negative word, because it's like you have to put up with something. No, it's just like live and let live, essentially. And I basically say, you know, why do you have a problem with what I do? Because it's my business what I do, and it's not your business what I do. So it's people who think that they can control other people or try and control what society does or in some way. And, you know, that's just sort of my opinion. And that's my opinion in the media as well. I think it's wrong of the media to try and sort of like control areas or like be like, you have to be this way, or try and feed people information like that. I think if we had more freedom to sort of say what we want to say and do what we want to do, that we'd all be better off. So,
I mean, that was my favorite part of this family, by far. Everyone just take a moment, look to your left, to your right, behind you a little some of the most individually unique people that we all have that one big thing in common, Brony. But there's so many different levels and why we're different. And because, you know, normality sucks. That's true. That, you know, why be, you know, soft eggshell white color when you can be bright pink?
Or rainbow.
Or rainbow. You know, just being an individual is one of the most, if I could stress any point here today, is to just be yourself, be an individual, because if you're not comfortable in your own skin, then, you know, why are you even in your skin at all? Just rip off. Just rip it off. Disclaimer, ripping off of skin will result in death.
All right, so as someone who's not particularly involved, hasn't been very involved, I've come across some pony music. And what I've heard is good, but it all seems, all the stuff that I've heard tends to be the remixes, kind of the dance beats. So I'm wondering, in your large amount of your 60 gig stockpile, how much variety in terms of genre and sound do you have in that music?
More than you could imagine.
Yeah, an enormous amount.
It's not, I know, it seems like the dubstep stuff is like 90% of our stuff. It's not, there's a lot of rock, there's a lot of metal, there's a little bit of country mixed in.
I mean, whatever you would classify Gypsy Bard under, you know? You know, people love that stuff. It's an awesome song, but is it even remotely close to what we call dubstep?
If you can think of a genre, it pretty much exists. Like as a demonstration, I do some music stuff, I do vocal stuff. Icky, aka Keep On Rockin', if anyone's familiar with Spin That Record Vinyl Scratch, he redid that song because he remastered it and changed a bunch of stuff because he's gotten so much better as a musician. And he asked me, he's like, hey, will you do the vocals for me? I was like, sure. And so that's mostly what I do is vocal work. But just as for instance, I've been wanting to do like stuff like beatbox mashed up with like a Gregorian chant pony stuff, or like rapping in Irish Gaelic, you know, Shanno style, which is a cappella, and sort of that crazy. So like that's the kind of variety we're looking at. Like there's cool actual like straight up Celtic stuff for like different Fluttershy type songs and things like that. There's some cool stuff out there. So if you listen, just like scroll through. MLP Music Archive is a great website. You can download. It's like 28 gigabytes of stuff. So next question.
At first, I was just gonna ask, hey, what's your favorite song? But but now, or not favorite song, favorite pony song, pony related song. After this, I kind of want to ask, like, or mention something better. Like, before I came to this con, I was like, there was a part of the fandom that I was like, ready to stay away from, like, beer, like, I think what I'm talking about. Like, no. And being here is kind of been like, that's kind of what I was about, and like, they should be beer more, and that's kind of like, I kind of really see that. It's kind of really nice.
I will give you my three, it's kind of a huge theme of my show, the 3 best hits for DJ K. Brony, and I'll give them to you right now. Awoken, Hate Seed, and Wound Toaster, Good Girl, Living Tombstone and Dasha, and Spitfire, Silverhound. Those are my 3.
I really like a lot of Tuxe's This Day Aria dubstep remix, Yelling at Cats becoming popular, and what was the last one? What? Yeah, all levels at once. Pony should pony pony pony.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Copycat and Soul Rack has some hilarious stuff, but that's just trolly stuff. I love well, first of all, I gotta give a huge shout to Alex S because he and I have become such good friends, and he's like sort of the first musician that I sort of got to know and like really liked and liked this stuff a lot. What a world! And his stuff is awesome. Every single song he puts out, you know, sometimes people have their ups and downs, but his stuff is grade A. Like every single song he puts out is just freaking amazing. And I will say I like pretty much everything he's done. Eurobeat, any of his vocal type stuff, I love. You know, you know, that's great stuff. I love it. Discord is great as well. So his stuff, my probably top two are going to be, I love 20% Cooler. Ken Ashcore is great at that and doing other sorts of parody stuff. Ken Ashcore's 20% Cooler. I do like the original better than Alex's thing, which kind of makes me feel bad. But I love being able to sing along to it. So that song, and then of course, how can I not mention Pony Swag? Pony Swag is just the greatest thing that's happened in my life. And you know, yeah, Swag, it is legend. Swagbird featuring Maros and Pony Swag is just an amazing song. If you have not heard it, look it up. It's a great, great song. You will be swagging for the rest of your life. So it's an incredible song. So that's probably my top one, just because I love playing it and swagging. So yeah. Is there any? I know we're sort of running out of time very quickly.
I saw a question over there that's been waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually did have a big part in the
You are welcome.
You are amazing, man.
Thank you, sir.
Your beer's just amazing.
I want to know if any of you three have heard of Omnipony, because you guys talked about Alex S. And
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know them all.
I remember you mentioned controversial figures like Mega Sweet and JJ. That's John Shosako, right?
Yes.
John Hoseka.
Everyone else. Oh yes. Okay. This is a good theme to sort of begin wrapping up our panel with. Actually, if you didn't gather, I love being completely open and letting people do whatever they want to do. I do not necessarily, because there are some people. There's almost always like two sides, it seems like, to this conflict. And it's happened in other fandoms as well. You have people that are purists who say, I want nothing to do with that, I don't want it to exist ever at all. Go away. And you have those people, and then you have a lot of people who are like, no, I think this stuff is cool, but then they kind of go too far and they push it, and they're like, we must have stuff like this. And you know, let's push these people on everyone, and let's really drive them out here and show everyone who they are. And I just believe in giving people a voice. I think those guys, like talking to them on a personal level, like they're people, you know, like they're cool people, like they're human beings like the rest of us, you know. Just because they choose to do one type of material or another doesn't mean that they're suddenly like crazy people or whatever. Like and a lot of people that do that type of stuff, you know, we're talking like Rule 34 and beyond. Some of them are actually the coolest people that I know. So I'm very open to that. I believe giving everyone a voice wherever they are, especially on the radio. That's why I suggest, you know, if you have something that you want to do and you want to get on the radio, like talk to me, because we'll make it happen. But you know, we have a show called the Grand Candlelight Cavalcade, which is complete spaghetti. And it's just, I mean, this guy can testify to that.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
If you're looking for your mind to be blown,
that's
the one to go to.
11 o'clock Central Time on Tuesday nights is when that show airs. So
you're in for a wild ride.
It is just absolutely batty. But that's my thing with Celestia Radio, and one thing that sets us apart, I think, from other different radio stations is that I will let literally any person that has anything to say come on. So I do not discriminate one way or another. If they're cool people, I mean, if they're, you can be like a purist. You can be someone who likes clean stuff and still be a douchebag, and you can be someone who's into Rule 34 and be the coolest person I know. So I like cool people regardless of what spectrum of the fandom you're in. So.
But my one rule for having anyone on is I don't discriminate about having anyone on the air except for discriminators. That's That's the thing I don't put up with at all.
Discriminate, I discriminate against you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, we love having just every single person we can get on because this fandom, like I said, individuals. Why just show one little bit of it? I see 1,000 different kinds of people here, even though this room only has about 30 people in it.
Okay.
Questions?
Well, I've got time literally for like one more question, and then we got to do this ad really quickly that we want to do. So last question. Make it good.
No pressure.
Well, I'm a communications major. I'm graduating this May, and I deal in mass media. What advice would you have for anybody who wants to do PR with conventions?
Oh yes. Excellent. You're talking to the right man right now. I would love to get with you after as well, like individually, to talk to you more about it. But definitely anybody that's in media that wants to get more involved. Networking is key to everything, especially life. So we're having this sort of conversation right now, we're networking right now, and you're talking to me, and I'm going to help you out and get more involved in that sort of thing. So that's what it's all about. Meeting those people, getting to talk to them, get the one word in, send them an email, whatever you have to do, be like, hey, I would love to work with this. Give me any job you have. And then from there, you just keep working with them. If you're a cool person, they really like you, chances are they'll set you back up to like get higher and higher up on the ladder. So that's what it's all about, really.
All right. I think just one last thing we could do is give out our show times.
Okay, do show times real quick, and we'll do this ad.
All right. If you're ever interested in hearing my show, I do The Breakfast Club, which is on Monday from 6 to 8 Mountain Time. That's 8 to 10 for you Easterners. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I do that from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursday I do it from 9 to midnight Eastern Time. And in case you ever want to get into more media production, check out my studio's YouTube page, Thundershuck Studios. Awesome group of people there. We'd love to showcase your work too as well. So if you'd like to get your work out there, Thundershucks, check it out.
And my show is called DJ Squirrel's Tree Time. I am on Mondays from 7 to, I don't even know what time my show ends, 7 to about 9 Eastern, and also on Fridays and Saturday nights from 7 to about 11.
Yes, and if I ever do anything, probably going to be on Sunday nights. I always announce on the website when I do anything because it's usually rare. But and we have a schedule on our page too. quantified.me/schedule.
Oh, and I'm also on a radio show called Equestria Inspired on Thursday nights from 5 to about 7 Eastern.
All right. Let's do this ad thing. How do you want to do this?
Get your mic off the stand first.
Off the stand. Okay. Give it to him, I guess. I'm not sure.
This is QCOM from Celestia Radio.
This is DJ Shamrock of Celestia Radio.
And this is DJ K. Brony of Celestia Radio.
And we are all pony.
All the time!
And I totally forgot to hit record, so we're going to do that again.
Now you know what we're doing. We didn't know. So.
Okay, now you guys know what our code is. So we're going to just say where our quick, and then we're going to do all pony all the time.
And let's also do like live from Brony Fanfare.
Yeah. All right. I am QCOM.
I'm DJ Shamrock.
I am DJ K. Brony, live from Brony Fanfare.
And we are
all the time!
And we got it.
Thanks for coming. If you would like to talk to me or any of us, we will be available outside. We have a booth as well set up sort of where the photo shoot area was at, where they were doing the photos and stuff. I'll be back there. I'll sign stuff if you want me to sign anything. I'll sign your body if you want me to do that too.